Happy Friday morning to you, fellas. Hopefully, you're doing well on this great Friday morning. We're at the weekend. Hell yeah, the week's almost over. Love to see that right there. We got a nice little show on today's tab. We're going to go ahead and give you guys some soccer plays. We got a nice little over 1.5 goals parlay. Got a Premier League parlay as well. But before we do all that, we got to make sure we, of course, recap yesterday. So let's go ahead and do that in a day in which I thought we were going to pull out the brooms, to be quite honest, on yesterday. I absolutely loved all three of those bets, and still sitting here Friday morning, still shocked that all three of those bets didn't cash for us. We did get one cash, that Blue Jays F5 team total taking on those Royals. That Blue Jays offense is absolutely heating up, and then you're taking on a struggling Royals team, and then in a pitcher in Jordan Lyles that, boy, there's just so much hitter familiarity with his days of being a Baltimore Oriole. So, yeah, the Blue Jays jumped on him early and often. So much pain in that game as well because I predicted Matt Chapman would hit a home run on the payoff pitch. It was the only batter I really mentioned yesterday on the show to hit a home run. Top of the first inning, hit it off the top of the wall, missed it by about 2 feet. Just missed that home run. So, yeah, Blue Jays are a team you want to be backing right now, to say the least right now, fellas. They are heating up. So that was the good cash. And then it just went downhill from there. Freeland under his 3.5 strikeouts. Boy, that game could have been so much different. I don't know if you guys were watching that, but the first inning led off with a single. Then my man almost hit a 2-run home run, but Profar robbed it. You hit that 2-run home run. Now you got Freeland on the ropes a little bit there. Come out in the second inning, they had him on the ropes again, but Profar saves the day again, makes a nice diving catch to his left to preserve some amount of runs in a big inning. So, you know, we're 2 Profar catches away from Freeland really coming out of the gates, giving up runs in the first inning, giving up runs in the second inning to this Nationals team that was hitting left-handers really well, and they are still hitting left-handers really well. They just got some amazing defense there. Really, probably Profar was the only one that did it, so he saved their ass there yesterday and obviously got them that 1-0 victory, and in the process made it so Freeland could pitch long enough. He's gaining confidence. You know, those plays when you rob a home run, that's like a turnover in the NFL. It's such a huge momentum play when, you know, you think you're going to give up some runs, and then no, he pulls it back to, you know, save a 2-run home run. So unfortunate right there. Then Dodgers Diamondbacks F5 over. I couldn't tell you what happened in that. I was long gone, tucked into bed before that game even kicked off. So I have no clue other than losing the bet. I'm not sure what happened in that one. So down a little bit on the day, still good on the week, 2.5 units to the good. So that's the good momentum going into the weekend that we need right there. Let's go ahead and talk some bets for today. Before we do that, I do want to let you guys know, and you guys have probably seen it here on the channel, we haven't done the Highline podcast this week. Matt and I haven't done Between the Posts, and I also haven't done the NBC Sports Predictor app. Baseball is taking up too much time, and earlier on in the baseball season and handicapping, you're trying to balance what's going on in 2023, what happened in spring training, although that's kind of gone a little bit to the wayside here the last maybe day or two. But then also these pitchers, you're talking their second turn through, so you're still trying to balance also what they did last year. It's just taking a lot of time to handicap baseball where you get into June and there's not a lot of time to handicap baseball because you're just moving the scale one day to see what happened in the last 14. Just a lot going on here earlier on the baseball season, so my time is being eaten up by handicapping baseball, and then I'm losing all the time today after the payoff pitch because my mom's coming into town today. So I got to, as soon as payoff pitch is over, run on out to Midway Airport and pick her up, where on a day where normally, Matt and I would crank out Between the Posts and maybe even crank out the NBC Sports Predictor app. So none of that content will unfortunately come out this week. Look to resume that in the following week as well. So let's go ahead now and jump on into giving out some bets. We'll throw some up on the screen there. We do got an over 1.5 goals parlay that we're going to do in Germany and France this weekend from the Bundesliga and League One. This is the first one we've done, fellas, since we've been cranking out these over 1.5 parlays. Notice this one's not at plus money. They've all been at plus money. That is how darn good these 3 games are that we didn't get these at plus money. You go look these up, and these are dream over 1.5. Certainly, God, he's got to hit. He's got to hit. So I just love the research that went into this one. So we'll do that one at minus 115 over at Caesars. And then this Premier League parlay, just take this first game right here. Manchester United taking on Everton. I'm going to go ahead and do over 7.5 corners. 7.5 corners. The real line is 9.5 corners, but they want you to pay minus 145. Did all the research and was like, all right, cool. I'm going to bet the corners in United versus Everton. And then you go look up the price. You're not paying minus 145 for corners. Corners can be tricky. The stats love corners, and Obviously we know Manchester United is attacking, but then you know how Everton sets up. That's why they're a great corners opponent, because Sean Dice doesn't mind defending corners, and then when he gets on the attacking end, he wants to try and give him team a corner so they can score on a set piece. So, the research said over 9.5 corners should hit fairly easy. But again, not paying minus 145 of that. So now we'll tease that down a little bit. We'll drop in over 1.5 goals there in Leicester and Bournemouth. Another game that just screams goals. Absolutely screams goals with Leicester and Bournemouth in the matchup right there. And then Man City team total over 1.5 to round out that parlay there on the road at St. Mary's, taking on Southampton. Likely no Erling Haaland. He's probably going to be rested, I would assume, for Bayern Munich the following week, but I don't care. Give me Alvarez, give me De Bruyne, give me Grealish, give me all the boys that City has. I don't really care. So we'll go ahead and roll with that Premier League parlay. Still trying to work in some single plays. I would like to have some single plays in the Premier League this weekend, but the crazy juice associated with this stuff makes it kind of tough to play when they want to put, a minus 155 attached to it. So for now, we'll roll with over 1.5 goals parlay in France and Germany, and we'll go ahead and roll with that three-legged Premier League parlay, and just stay with me on Twitter tonight. Again, trying hard to try and find some single plays in there as well. And in terms of NASCAR, practice got rained out today, so that really hurt our chances of getting some NASCAR plays. They're running down on Bristol on dirt, which is different enough, and already adds a little bit of difficulties in terms of handicap that one with it being on dirt. And now you get rained, is going to go ahead and cancel practice today. So we just got to see what qualifying happens tomorrow. You just got to see who brings the good setup. We've got some ideas of maybe, who can maybe finish ahead of each other. But, just when you think about it, you're like, oh, this guy's good at dirt. And, you're like, these guys are good at dirt versus, like, these guys who, like, don't have a lot of dirt experience. Yeah, no shit. The sports books know that crap. They're not giving you a guy that has dirt experience versus a guy that, doesn't run on dirt. Like, they're not out here handing out free money. So they make it tough. So let's see what happens in qualifying tomorrow. Unfortunate rain got, it happened, and, the practice got rained out. But let's see what happens there with qualifying tomorrow and see if we can at least maybe find one of our favorite NASCAR plays and get that in, because Sunday night, Easter race in Bristol on dirt, yeah, that sounds like something I want to watch and enjoy. So hopefully we can find a bet for that. But as of now, that's all we're going to roll with. We'll go ahead and roll with these couple soccer parlays, and then obviously on the payoff pitch in about 10 or so minutes, we've certainly got quite a few bets to go ahead and give out on today's baseball slate. It's a nice baseball. I agree, Brian. We're going to have a great Friday. What's up, Adrian? What's going on, man? Time to bounce back with the under on strikeouts. I hear you. Like I said, I don't know if you're watching that, but man, I did one of those like disgusted looks. Like as soon as he robbed that man of a home run, then he comes right back in the second inning and wants to make that nice diving catch. Just that game could have gone completely different if those two innings, went the way of the offense as opposed to the way of the defense. Dirt race is gonna be mayhem, Brian. Yeah, buddy. The road, you're going to look for guys that are good on the road course too, right? Guys that are generally good on road courses are generally good on the dirt. So a lot of handicapping comes in when you talk about this dirt. So yeah, look for Ross Chastain to do something, right, Brian? Or is Ross Chastain going to get up there and do something? All right, let's go ahead and buy some of these dogs. How did our dogs do yesterday? Anybody know? I have no idea how the dogs did. Let's find out. Let's find out how these dogs did. We had $92 when we logged in yesterday. We got more or less. Ooh, 89. Not a good day for the dogs. Who was able to get us a victory yesterday? No. One dog won yesterday. Your Giants beat the White Sox. Otherwise, not a good day for the underdogs and not a good year for the underdogs. Now we're down. That'd be 10.99 units. 10.99 units. Yikes. That's not good. Not good. All right, let's slap some dogs on here. It's almost going to be the end of April where we can take this money in Barstools and do those parlays I mentioned and let us have some fun with this money as opposed to blindly betting these suckers that aren't working. Today's going to be the day, though. I think there's some good dogs today and doing the research there for Payoff Pitch. There's what? Come on, give me that. Don't mess around with that. Bam. And Blue Jays are a dog today. How are the Blue Jays a dog against how are the Blue Jays a dog against the Angels when they got the bullpen advantage, they got the hitting advantage? and starting advantage is generally a wash. I have Blue Jays an underdog, and they got a massive hitting advantage. Let me tell you. And the Blue Jays are getting hot. Saw it yesterday in cashing that F5 team total. Obviously, I don't get that one. I don't get how the Blue Jays could be an underdog today. All right, we got about 9 minutes to the payoff pitch. Let's go ahead, hang on back, enjoy some tunes, and we'll kick this thing off in about 9 minutes with Hockey Squirrel and I previewing today's MLB slate. Have ourselves a nice little day, fellas. All right, I'll come back with you guys here shortly. Hey there, what's going on, my fellow baseball fans? Welcome on into Friday's episode here of the Payoff Pitch, live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, powered by Bet Openly. He's, of course, Hockey Squirrel, and I'm, of course, Jason, here to break down today's slate. It's quick. It's first inning. We call it quick hits. We like to get our opening thoughts. What's up there, Squirrel?
Hey, buddy. MLB went pretty well yesterday, I would say, for myself. It was the NHL that kind of got me and brought me back closer to even. Really, that's exactly what I did yesterday. It went pretty much exactly even. So all my baseball winnings were kind of lost in the NHL there, but that was that. So.
Well, we love to have you giving us those baseball winnings. We look forward to giving you more of those great baseball winnings today. Let's just dive right on into this slate. We've got a nice baseball slate today, 14 games in total. Let's kick it off there in the second inning, and around the bases, we'll each, of course, break down a couple of games. What you interested in kicking off the show with?
The thing that caught my eye was I think we need to take a look at the Colorado Rockies today on the money line. You got a minus 120 price. You're at home, and it is a left-handed pitcher today, and a relatively new one at that. I think it's Mackenzie Gore in that game. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I think if I remember right, the game logs, he pitched like 8 games last year, had 4 wins, 4 losses. So relatively new, not really sure. I think it's pretty difficult for pitchers in general to control things at Coors Field, So you have the home advantage there, and you have a left-handed hitting advantage for those batters. You know how the Rockies love those lefties. And you're getting a pretty good price. I did go in on the Rockies money line yesterday, as I was able to get it at a good price, and I even posted that on Twitter. I think I got a minus 138 when the book was like 160 or 155, something like that. I think they closed fairly high. So I was surprised we didn't see a high-scoring game as we expected there with the total at 11. But I think, the Rockies money line is something to take a look at again there for the reasons listed.
Yeah, I would say you and everybody else was surprised yesterday, by the score of that game being 1-0 with those pitchers on the mound, Josiah Gray and Freeland, and obviously the bats the way they came in. That being said, there was obviously some great defense, being played in that game, obviously by Profar as well. So, all right, so you like the Rockies today, obviously with the left-hander on the mound. That makes a lot of sense. Let's take it to Pittsburgh, where we've got the White Sox coming into town, taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rich Hill against Lucas Giolito. The White Sox really just need to be patient here against Rich Hill and his breaking stuff. I think if they can be patient and make him throw that off-speed stuff 4 strikes in the zone, then I think the White Sox will have a nice little advantage. It looks like they're back to hitting left-handers as they were in 2021. They had an off year last year, small sample size, but they're certainly really good versus left-handers. And then I think when the Pirates switch it over to maybe some right-handed guys coming out of that bullpen, well, the White Sox are doing decent right now versus right-handers too. So I think from an overall hitting perspective, really like the White Sox in this matchup. Circle back there by Giolito and Rich Hill. Both of these guys relatively had the same opening day lines, 5 innings, 3 runs or so, handful of hits. So not really going to give an advantage to either one of those guys. Again, hitting though, boy, these Sox versus these left-handers, hitting 304. I mean, that's what we're accustomed to the White Sox when you think about them facing these left-handers. So, and then they're really good versus the right-handers, where the Pirates are struggling versus the right-handers. I mean, only hitting 183, that's going to catch up to you. They pull off the sweep against the Red Sox. Congratulations, you caught them cooled off against the Baltimore Orioles. You hit, your 198, you're under Mendoza line. That is going to catch up to you, and that is going to be losses. I think if the White Sox can avoid maybe the Pirates having some home opener magic in this one, I see this one going the White Sox way. They can get to their good arms out of that bullpen because the bad arms are really atrocious. They're at the bottom of the barrel in the MLB in terms of bullpen. So I like the White Sox here in this one. I like the over in this one. You do get the wind blowing out. Over 8.5 runs has already hit in 6 of their games so far for the White Sox. So give me the over, and I like the White Sox being more of the teams that can contribute to that. I mean, Rich Hill, let the Reds cash their F5 team total. So I like the White Sox. I like the over, the winds, blowing out in this one. So that's all I'll be looking for in that matchup. What's another game you want to talk about?
Yeah, I may be touching on the Pirates in a later inning there, so we'll talk about that one again, I'm sure. I have a NRFI I think I was looking at that I found at minus 115, and it comes in the form of the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. So this is Brandon Woodruff and Jack Flaherty. That's the pronunciation. I think that's pretty close. But you have a high strikeout total there in the pitching props for Brandon Woodruff, and for good reason, right? The first 5 projections are by far to go under. So when it came down to the juice paid, I think it was better just to shorten the thing up and take it in the first inning and try to get through the 6 outs there. And, for the minus 115, rather than, it can feel a little agonizing, right? If you take a full game under or a first 5 under there, you can allow a run in the first inning, but are you really going to feel good as you get to the bottom of the 5th there and you have 3 or 4 runs? I mean, it kind of turns into the same situation potentially anyway. I would just rather have the quick over and done for the 115 rather than paying, like minus 120 or 125 for the first 5 innings. It's the same pitchers and whatnot, and you're just going to be seeing them more often through the rotation. So for the price paid, for the projections that are there, and for the pitching you're getting, they have bats to definitely put up runs on both sides, but the pitching is of more elite caliber, and for that reason, I think it's a good pick for NRFI then.
I like the NRFI. We love NRFIs here. I'm going to come in the 6th inning and give out our YRFI. I think there's a game that's going to go the other way. There's going to be a run scored in the first inning. So, like the NRFI, though, that you brought up right there. The second game that I want to talk about here and around the bases is Yankees and Orioles. And this is one where I feel like it could almost go in the 6th inning. It's a steal. You're catching the Yankees at minus 130, which generally perform fairly well in Camden Yards over the years. The Yankees have a really good bullpen advantage over the Baltimore Orioles in this game, and I like that with their starter Schmidt, because I don't think they'll let him go very long. You saw him in short outings last year. I think you're going to see him in a relatively short outing again, maybe around 4 innings, and then just get into this stellar bullpen, which Aaron Boone does a really good job managing that bullpen. So I like that. I like that, we've got a good bullpen with Schmidt on the mound here. The Yankees have a really nice hitting advantage. The Orioles have certainly cooled off since that opening series with the Red Sox. The Yankees have also really owned this guy, Dean Kremer. I mean, they should absolutely hit him hard. They've got Judge hits 571. Stanton has a 600 batting average off him. Gleyber Torres is 444. DJ LeMahieu hits 412 off him. I mean, big bats in this lineup that are going to do some damage off Kremer. So I'm not understanding the Yankees at minus 130 with the rested bullpen, with the starter advantage that they have. This minus 130 price, this could easily be a steal in the 6th inning. Obviously, I'm going to talk about it here, so I can't get away from the Yankees, though, and their hitting prowess over Dean Kremer in this game. This one should be a Yankees, I think, relatively easy win, so at minus 130, I'd say snatch that one up. 3rd inning, shut up and pitch time. We got to give these guys some pitching props. Who are you targeting today there, Squirrel?
I've been struggling with the props. I have real plans now that we're getting far enough in where I think maybe I can start kind of bringing the day together. And being that it's Friday, I'm really going to try to start building some stuff over this weekend here, so that starting Monday I can really come out with more of my own model projections for not only the pitchers but also the batters, right? That the batters has been one that I haven't been too strong on quite yet. Just looking around, though, I'm just going to maybe touch on some guys that I think can get strikeouts. I like Logan Gilbert to get some strikeouts there. Again, of the noticeable pitchers I've seen in the last year or two, he's been one of them going against Savali. Again, they juice some of these so high, though, when it's likely to happen, and you're looking at a minus 140, so it's hard to get too excited about some of these. And then, God, Woodruff, right? I mean, again, another 7.5. I don't know. We were looking at who was the player? It was like 7.5 or eight strikeouts.
Was 8.5. What did he hit? Did Strider get it?
Oh yeah. I don't know. You talk about it yours. I'm gonna go ahead and look at if he actually got that.
All right, you look and see if Strider got that. I'm glad, first of all, I had in my notes to talk about the juice that are associated to all these pitching props. Man, it made it tough today to find a pitcher out, whether it's hits or your outs recorded. They got every line, it seemed like, for outs recorded at 17.5, and it's just really tough to get it in. So, all right, I do have a couple of pitching props. So what about Nick Martinez? Nick Martinez, there are the Padres. I think he's going to go under 4.5 Ks, and we really just want to play into this hot Atlanta Braves offense. Guys that come out right from the start in the first inning. They're ready to swing and be productive. I know Martinez got 5 strikeouts against the Rockies, which wouldn't do you here, but the Rockies' K percentage is 25.7, where the Atlanta Braves is 19.6, so significantly better there in the Braves, better offense. This is a relief guy also turned starter. He's going to get roughed up. There's a reason why he's a relief guy last year. You start getting 2 looks at him through the rotation, and then guys start really just teeing off on his stuff. So he's not going to last long against this hot Atlanta Braves offense. So I like Nick Martinez to stay under 4.5 Ks. And then another guy I don't think is going to last very long is Brad Keller of the Kansas City Royals. I like him under 15.5 outs. It's minus 115. Another guy that was a starter last season, got moved to the bullpen. Now he's back to a starter. Only went 4.2 innings pitched in his season opener. And they've got Brady Singer going on Saturday. So if they need to go to that bullpen earlier, you can expect your ace, Singer, to give you some distance on Saturday. And maybe you go to that bullpen. That being said, you're not going to be in a big hurry to get to that bullpen. That bullpen's god-awful. But I expect Brad Keller to also get hit. And remember the Giants, remember what they did yesterday to the White Sox. They're slugging home runs. They're hot, scoring 16 runs.
16-6.
Yeah, that offense for the Giants is heating up. And it's their home opener, so maybe they'll be feeling it. Brad Keller, he's not going more than 5 innings pitched, so take his under 15.5 outs. Long shots. Is this where the Pirates are coming back into the show there, Squirrel?
It's where the Pirates are coming back into the show, and it's also where I'm going to unfortunately oppose you on the Yankees game, too.
Sweet.
We're going head-to-head on both. So Pittsburgh Pirates, the thing I was going to touch on is exactly what you just said. You look at something like yesterday, you keep saying about that White Sox bullpen, right? And it's not that I haven't seen them get a lot of hits, because I know that they have. And as of yesterday, by looking, they were number 4 in terms of hits. I just don't think that they're bringing in the runs that they should be. They're not batting the guys in who are on the bases. So that number 1 needs to change. They still got 6 runs yesterday, which is fairly respectable. They didn't get, completely shut out, but to give up 16, come on. So, are you willing to risk the bullpen struggles for the amount of hits that they're getting? And this is kind of the trade-off, I think. And Pirates have battled, taking down the Astros, I believe it was, to start the year. A couple games there. And yeah, you mentioned they get lucky. I think there's a lot of luck involved in baseball in general, right? But at a plus 130 for what I've seen until the White Sox can kind of pull it together, at least in the bullpen area, I don't mind going against them. And I talk a lot about the second game here with the Orioles and the Yankees. When you find a team like that that's that good, and we've already seen it with the Toronto Blue Jays in a couple of games, some of these low-priced or they look like mispriced favorites, they know what they're doing. And it's not probably for by mistake, that something like that would happen. Yes, I agree. Finding minus 120 or minus 130 on the Yankees is very, very strange today. I wasn't aware actually of the numbers that some of those batters have against Dean Kramer. I do remember that has good numbers at least I thought he did, off the top of my head from last year, maybe not particularly against those batters, but I don't remember him being a complete, slappy, as you would call him. So just for how that line looks, how weird it is for the Yankees, it's almost enough to make me just straight up go the other way. I don't know if I really believe in trap lines as much as, I used to think that they would exist. But I do think that there's got to be reasons for why something like that would be priced so low. It makes you have to question that.
I'll tell you, when the White Sox bullpen has the worst opponent's batting average, the worst ERA, and the worst WHIP, and the third worst FIP, it's okay to sprinkle on that Pirates money line, because you're going to be okay if you're down in the late innings, because that bullpen that the White Sox have is just god awful. So I like that one right there. All right, my long shot of the day is going to be this Blue Jays at plus 110. I'm not going to ignore how hot this offense is, how hot the offense was yesterday, and rewarding us with a good cash. They're hot right now versus right-handers, left-handers, so I don't care what the Angels do after they're starting their left-hander Sandoval. Go to anything in that bullpen. The Blue Jays are crushing it right now. The Angels' offense is bottom 10, and they got no power. They're only slugging .354. I mean, you get power with Ohtani and Trout. You get nothing else out of that lineup from production. The Blue Jays have the better bullpen. I'm not sure who's better between Bassett and Sandoval if you look up the back of their baseball card. But this Blue Jays offense and bullpen can't be ignored right now. And at plus 110, sign me up for the Blue Jays to be the best underdog today. Fifth inning, keep swinging. It's time for some hitting props. I've got a couple guys here. Marcus Semien of the Texas Rangers. He's 7-13 off Marcus Stroman. All of those are singles, though, so you don't want to take his maybe total bases. He's just a good guy for an over hits one parlay. But Jesse Winker, you can do him alone based on what the books are giving you for the price for him to score or just to have a hit. He's 6 for 15 off Flaherty, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. You get that lefty on righty matchup. He comes into this game hitting .333 on the season. He's at minus 150 to get a hit. You can definitely play him alone or maybe bring in Marcus Semien along for the ride for a good plus money cash. So anything you got from today for hitting?
Not really. Just looking at, again, these kinds of where I told you, the largest edges that I'm finding are coming in are those RBIs. I don't know if Christian Yelich ever cashed the other night for getting a guy in off the bases there, but not anything huge. Possibly Byron Buxton there for an over RBI plus 2.7, just to get one runner batted in. I kind of like those props, to be honest. So yeah, Buxton's a guy that's usually good for a good base hit or two. Occasionally a home run there, and he's got some speed there to get to base. So possibly that. But rolling into It's a Steal, I actually do have the Minnesota Twins, and it is finally home opener here. We got postponed, and there's some snow on the ground, but the sun's out, so there's that.
So unfair to have
Minnesota
snow
Twins. My next 2 innings, I don't think that the prices are going to be viable anymore. I took these last night. I took the Minnesota Twins at a minus 115. I think they're approaching a minus 130 now for being home opener favorites there. So I'm saying it's a steal because it's the price that I got that I think is the best for a home favorite and probably my favorite value of the day. So that's really why I'll say that. Houston Astros have already proven to us that they're not unbeatable. They've been beat, dropped a couple to the White Sox of all people, dropped a couple to the Tigers of all teams. So I don't see why the Twins couldn't do it if those other 2 teams could as well.
Something I liked a little bit more within that game was the under, with 2 offenses that are coming out struggling. The Astros just can't find their legs under them without Altuve. I think that one's going to go under, so maybe the Twins can win a nice low-scoring game. All right, my 6th inning, it's a steal. No NRFI today, no NRFI today, but you do get a YRFI today, which will be there will be a run scored in the first inning. Braves and Padres, minus 120. For there to be a run scored in the first inning. The Braves average the second best in the MLB at 1.29 runs scored in the first inning. The Padres come in at 0.71 runs in the first inning. And then you got 2 pitchers on the mound that in their openers just got rocked, and I don't think that was an outlier based on the back of their baseball cards. Sutter in the first inning, 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, no Ks in the opener. Martinez gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and a K in the opener. Again, I don't think that was an outlier. Look at their back of their baseball card. These guys get hurt early and often. So, again, 2 really good offenses in the Braves and Padres. There's going to be a run score in the first inning. At minus 120, you can book it. All right, this is the 7th inning coming to a stretch. Best bet of the day, Squirrel. What we got? Best bet. Need my
I paid some juice today. Very unlike me. Very unlike me. There's a team out there with a implied probability, right, of 60% because it's at minus 150. It is the home team of the Milwaukee Brewers behind Brandon Woodruff. I took minus 150. I see DraftKings right now 155. I'm sure you could still get 150 if you posted it on Bet Openly. Pay the less juice. It just makes sense. If you can find somebody that wants to take the Cardinals, that is. I think I did. I think someone accepted that. But that will be my best bet and most likely to cash of the day with Brandon Woodruff and the Brewers at home at a minus 150 price.
All right, man, you like the Brewers today. All right, my best bet of the day is I can't ignore what the Dodgers do against Madison Bumgarner. Every time they see him, they hit him, and they hit him hard. They hit him hard on April 1st. They easily cashed their F5 team total. They cashed it in 2 of the 3 starts in 2022. The Dodgers are averaging 4.29 runs scored in the first 5. There is no reason why they won't be able to jump all over Madison Bumgarner. A guy doesn't have it. We all know that. So, yeah, I'm going to take it. You saw it yesterday. It did burn me, actually. They got to Kelly. Unfortunately, the Diamondbacks didn't get to Dustin May. I'm not worried about some F5 over. Just give me the one team that I can really bank on, the Dodgers. Getting to Bumgarner, love everything about it. So I'm doing the Dodgers F5 team total over 2.5 runs at -110 is my best bet of the day, and see if we can't go 4 for 4 this week on best bets. Double play, parlay of the day. What's parlay of the day? What's your favorite parlay today?
Well, it's funny that you went to that game because I'll take the Brewers in the double play on the money line as a likely to win, just a team to win outright. And I was looking at the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks over the full game. This is something I got last night at 8.5. It's now juiced to the over at 9. I gave it out on Twitter about I don't know, about an hour ago, I think. And I gave out over 9. So it was -110. I don't know if you can find that anymore. But again, if you're not following me on Twitter, that's where I will be starting to give out these overnight lines and pre-show lines as well. So, if you're wanting to get them an hour to 12 hours ahead of time, then check out Hockey Squirrel on Twitter. But that will be my 2-team parlay there for plus 201 is what I'm seeing for the Brewers, and the over 9 on the Dodgers and Diamondbacks.
Brewers and over 9 and Dodgers for 2 what? That sounds really good.
201?
201.
Plus 201?
Okay, like it. All right, my double play, my favorite parlay of the day is going to be a couple pitching props. I'm doing Savali under 5.5 Ks. There's no way on this earth he's going to go under or over 5.5 Ks. And Cabrera there, the Marlins, he's not going over 4.5 Ks. So that's your parlay of the day. Under 5.5 Ks there for Savali and under 4.5 Ks there for Cabrera. Look, both of these two teams are doing really good in your K strikeout percentage. Both of these two teams just saw the opposing pitcher 5 days ago. I can't imagine either one of them being much more successful. I like runs in both of these games. I like runs early. Neither one of these guys are going to go deep in their games, and neither one of them, with what their opponents are doing in the K percentage right now, they're not going over their strikeout. So I'll take Savali under 5.5 and Cabrera under 4.5, and that one chucks in at plus 184. All right, we got to give these guys our bets. I never got yours before the show, Squirrel. So
yeah, you didn't. So I'm going to run through them real quick. You have this on recording, and if you're interested, just rewind it. Here's the list. Minnesota Twins, money line -115. White Sox and Pirates, over 8.5. I got that at even odds. Milwaukee Brewers, -150 on the money line. I'll take the Colorado Rockies at home there against the left-hander for the -120. I like the Pirates at plus 125. You might be able to get them 130 now. And we'll go with the Dodgers and Diamondbacks over 8.5. Boom.
What was that juice? I'm gonna put it on the screen.
That'd be -110. I didn't list a juice. If I don't list a juice, it's just -110 generally. So that's what that is.
I'm gonna put this on the screen.
That's what I got them at. I think, as I just said, I think they're -120 for over 9 now, and I got over 8.5 -110. So we're sitting really good at Hockey Squirrel Discord channel. We just had a couple, well, not a couple. I think we just had a new sign up right before the show anyway, too, into the Discord channel there. So we got a real good community building there in that Discord. If you're interested in everything that I do, so I give out a limited amount of bets here, but really it's about high edge and high volume. We're into the props, we're into baseball, we do basketball, we even bet tennis, all kinds of stuff. And all my records are transparent and available to be seen by the public. So if you're interested in what my records are over the last couple months, I will happily share them with you, no problem.
All right, does that look about accurate there on the screen while I go through mine? Marlins and Twins at 5 over
yes,
4.5. Didn't fully touch on that, but just running back the system play of opposing pitchers 5 days ago. So we'll gladly run that back. Same thing in Mariners, Garlands, Logan Gilbert or Savali. That matchup just happened 5 days ago. I'll gladly take the over 3.5 runs in the F5. And then 4 F5 team totals. You can see right there, back in the Dodgers, the White Sox, the Blue Jays and the Yankees to all get some damage done through the first 5 innings. So that's how we're going to be looking to cash on this great Friday as we end this week of the Payoff Pitch. Looking to continue to put more money in our pockets. Let's go. We've got James coming.
Yeah, I think I'll be a lot more set up for those props on Monday. That's really my weekend goal then, is to start to build data models around the pitchers and the batters in order to do something, and I'll be back with that on Monday.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, make sure you do give us a follow on Twitter, because that's where the bets will come out over the course of Saturday and Sunday before we get to see you guys next on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live right here for the Payoff Pitch. Good luck with your bets over the course of this weekend, fellas. Hope you guys also have a good time with your friends and family. We look forward to seeing you guys back here on Monday for the Payoff Pitch. Have a good one, guys.
Absolutely. See you later, buddy.